Hey everybody, this is Justin from FrugalSnobs.com. What's up YouTube? Brock Christine with me, say hello.
Hello!
We have another currency review video for everybody. This time it's another edition from the Canada 150 celebration. And this is the Bank of Canada $10 commemorative banknote. This note was released recently, June 1st.
Yes.
2017. And it is part of the celebrations to commemorate the 150th anniversary of the Confederation of Canada. We did already review the Canada 150 $50 as well in a separate video, so do check out that video here on the YouTube channel. But Christina, we have a really cool bill here.
Yes, we do.
So, let's go ahead and jump into this bill. It is to my knowledge, it is a single piece of polymer.
Yes.
Right, so it's not a blended polymer note. Now, we were able to pick up 4 of these notes sequentially, which is really cool. So Christina picked up 2 sequentials, I picked up 2 sequentials. Touching the note, it's very thin.
Yeah.
Lightweight, has the tactile feature on it, which in this case is Braille. Raised ink, and let's go ahead and talk about the actual bill itself. But before we do, the Bank of Canada is basically promoting this bill from 3 sides in terms of the counterfeiting measures or the authenticity of the bill. It's look, feel, and flip. So you can look at the bill, you can feel the tactile features, raised ink on the bill, and also flip the bill to see the items in the transparent window and the holograms. So let's go ahead and jump into the actual front side of the note. What do you see on the front side of this bill?
Well, first thing I see is there's actually 4 people, and just working from left to right, looking at the bill.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is Sir John A. Macdonald.
Mm-hmm.
He was the father of the Confederation and the first Prime Minister of Canada.
Okay, these are all parliamentarians of some sort,
yes.
Right? All 4 of these members.
Yes.
Second person on the left.
You may have to help me with the pronunciation of this one. Sir George Etienne Cartier.
Georges Cartier.
Yes.
That sounds even better.
He was the architect of the Canadian federalism, and he also was part of the Canadian expansion west.
I see. So it's kind of like the manifest destiny of the United States.
Yes.
So basically, move west, my friend, move west.
Yes.
Interesting. Was he also part of French Canada, I assume?
It did not say.
I assume he was probably a French Canadian who was probably also working heavily with the English-speaking part of Canada, etc. But let's move to the third person.
That would be Agnes MacPhail.
First female parliamentarian, right?
Yes, she was the first woman elected to the House of Commons.
Ooh, fancy.
And she also campaigned for equal rights.
I see, so kind of like women's suffrage.
Yes.
Interesting. And this is also in the, I would assume, early 20th century, 1920s, I assume. Women's suffrage also occurred in 1920 in the United States, so it's roughly around the same time. I like the 4th guy. He's awesome.
James Gladstone.
Yes.
And then he was the member of the Kenai, which translated means blood, First Nation, and he was actually the first senator of the First Nation.
So basically of First Nations origin.
Yes.
Right? Now I like how the Canadians word this. They call the peoples the First Nations peoples, or the First Nations. I like that. We call them Indians.
Or Native Americans.
Or Native Americans. It's kind of ignorant. Native American sounds much more politically correct, but I like First Nations better.
Yes.
It just sounds better. And everybody, this is awesome. His Indian name translates to many guns.
Which, if you actually want the Indian name, it's Akai Namuka.
Akai Namuka.
Yeah.
Many guns.
Yes.
Member of the Blood Tribe. How cool is that? This guy has my vote. All right, so front side of the note. What else do you want to talk about on the front side of the note?
On the front left-hand side, it actually has a partial hologram in this, but it is has the
You're struggling.
Assumption sash or arrow sash, and it's actually the background on the whole front of the bill.
Huh. So what do you see in the transparent window on the front side of the bill?
That's actually covered on the back
Ah.
part of it, so we are getting there.
Okay, sorry, I jumped the gun on the transparent window.
And then also, they have the memorial chamber arch, and it has a little bit of a hologram, like a
pseudo hologram.
Pseudo hologram on it, and it does have some changing effects as you flip it up top to bottom.
Again, that's part of that flip aspect in the
Yes.
Bank of Canada. Man, these bills look really hard to counterfeit.
And then
That's the point.
And the cool part is it actually fades into the Hall of Honor, which is closer to the clear window part, and that's actually basically it's a center corridor that leads from Confederation Hall to the Library of Parliament.
Which I assume the Library of Parliament is similar to our Library of Congress in the United States. I
Yes.
assume.
Yes.
But So much intricate work on the front side of this note.
And that was just the front side.
And by the way, before we get to the back side of the note, this note took, I believe, 3 years
To design.
to design and create.
Yes.
So the Bank of Canada has a massive campaign around this, everybody. Go out and take a look at the Bank of Canada website. You'll be able to check out a 3D representation, 360-degree view of this note as well. Again, it is polymer, so you could actually crumple it. It would, of course, remain and retain its shape. They also tested this note to a number of stress tests. They performed a number of stress tests, including staining it with ketchup, honey, juice, and coffee. And in every case, they're able to wipe the note clean. No stain. So that's the front side of the note. Let's take a look at the back side of the note.
All right. Now, as we work our way across...
this is really cool. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's really cool. But go ahead. I like this whole representation aspect. Go ahead.
All right. The first part in blue is the Coast Mountains, and it's basically representing British Columbia.
And basically, before you go any further, the entire backside of the note is a representation of Canada as a whole. Right?
Yes.
All the regions of Canada. So, essentially Western Canada.
Yes.
In this case. So, what else you got?
Then we hit the hologram.
Go ahead.
And with the hologram, it has the owl bouquet in it,
Hmm?
which has 4 flowers and the owl looking straight at you.
I don't like owls. They're creepy. They turn their heads all the way around. They carry ticks and Lyme disease. They're creepy.
There's 3 maple leaves underneath it. Directly above the owl is the Canadian flag, and it says Canada going in both directions on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then right above that is the Canadian crest, or the Canadian coat of arms.
Which we've seen the Canadian coat of arms on several other bills as well.
Yes,
older
and also
bills.
on the coins.
Yes. Okay, so that's, and you also have, I believe in the holographic window, you have all the provinces
Yes.
in small, teeny tiny, like micro print.
And that's actually on the front of the hologram, so you don't see it on this side.
Ah!
So it's on the front of the bill with the hologram.
So at least, well, we should have covered it on the front side of the note, but I'm too excited.
Yes.
So it is a cool bill, though. So
And the really cool part is, as you look up the window, on both sides, there's wavering maple leaves going up the
Interesting.
windows on both sides.
interesting. So that you have the Western Canadian side represented in terms of British Columbia. What else do you see on the back side of the note to represent the rest of Canada?
And more of a gold tone is the prairies, which is like Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Manitoba.
Mhm.
And then as you work your way to the right, in the lighter purple is the Canadian Shield. It's like a reddish purple color. And that is actually 4.8 million kilometers of Canada.
It's what, half the Canadian land
Yes.
mass by area?
Yes.
It's massive.
And then as you work your way over, it's like a bluish purple. It's the Atlantic coast.
Uh-huh.
And the cape that's pictured is, they suspect, is the possible landing point of John Cabot in 1497.
Interesting. I think that's also, Cape Bonavista.
Yes.
I think that's Cape Bonavista, from what I was reading also about the note. Just one other thing I wanted to mention before we continue on the back side of the note. Only 40 million of these notes were printed, roughly one for every Canadian.
Yes.
We were able to pick up 4 of these notes, so therefore 4 Canadians won't be getting their commemorative notes.
Sorry.
So I did want to point out that only equals out to be roughly, what, 400 million Canadian dollars?
Yeah.
That's not much.
No.
I mean, in terms of a national treasury, that's not much in terms of printing. So these are limited. This is a limited run. 1 note, roughly or approximately per Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else you want to talk about on the back side of the note?
Just one final piece. The Northern Lights with a large 10 over it.
That's the really cool part. I like the Aurora Borealis on the
Yes.
note. That's really cool.
And it actually blends over the entire background of the rest of the bill for the back.
That is really, really cool. So, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Comparing this note to the Commemorative 20 from 2015, would you say it's an equally pretty note, or would you say it's more intricate
It's more intricate.
than the Diamond Jubilee note?
I mean, they both have their own beauty, but the historic value behind this one versus the 20, definitely a lot more value here and a lot more information that they just placed onto this note.
Actually, I apologize. I don't believe it was the Diamond Jubilee note. I believe it's simply just a note to commemorate Elizabeth II as the longest reigning monarch. That's
Yes.
20. So, but this note is more intricate. The coolest part about, I think, this note is that we found the note essentially by accident.
Yeah.
We were simply out looking at basically research, so to speak, around polymer notes and what countries have polymer notes, and we found both the Commemorative 20 from 2015 and also this note. We found this note, I believe, back in maybe March or April of this year that it was coming out, so we started watching some clips on YouTube of what the designs looked like, really liked it, And just a little bit of research paid off. We were able to pick up these notes ahead of schedule.
Yes.
So you can pick up these notes still online, folks, if you're in the United States. Of course, if you're in Canada, you can go to your local financial institution and pick up the notes as well. We definitely anticipate that these notes will accrue value, but they're really cool. We're really excited to get it, so we thought we would be one of the first to share with all of you. So that is the $10 Bank of Canada Commemorative 2017 Canada 150 banknote. Please make sure that you check out all the other videos here on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe as well. We're bringing more currency review videos as we move forward. Check out all the other videos on the channel. Make sure you check out the Fuel House podcast, everybody. And also subscribe to the podcast on your podcatcher of choice. Be well, never pay your retail, take care of yourself and each other.